Well. It's another Monday night here in Houston, Texas. You know what that means. If you're listening at kpft.org/listen, you're hearing us. Hey, everybody. It's Effin Rager. How's it going? As always, I'm your host, Connor Clifton, joined by my lovely co-host, Ned Gale. How's it going, Ned?
I can watch your energy reserves depleting as you go.
I had a heck of a
week. Hey, what's up? If you guys are, is the radio again?
Look, you can't blame me. It was a 3-day weekend, and yeah, I raged.
It was a rager of a weekend. We raged so ragey.
Oh, God.
So, Connor, tell me, how was your freaking weekend?
Man, a lot of highs, a lot of lows. Highs right before I went to bed. Lows right when I woke up. Yeah, we did a lot. Okay, hang on. Let's start at the beginning.
From the very beginning. Friday night, we leave work, we clock out, we pull that bird that goes from Flintstones.
Yep. And then we met up at Poison Girl for a little bit to hang out with our art pals. Then we went separate ways. And then, what did you end up doing? I didn't do anything.
Oh, I tried to go see Gross Lonely Boys at a secret group, but their show got canceled. So I just hung out for a little bit. Yeah. And then I think we just went back to the house. I rode the Segway for a while.
Yeah, and then we get to hang out with our good friend Cody.
Yeah, Cody was in town.
That was really awesome. Saturday night, we went to Station Theater, and we saw a really fantastic improv show.
Yeah.
A few of them. We saw the Cannes Film Festival, which you put on.
Right.
Some and then we
great
saw,
videos.
Discharge, a really great troupe here in Houston. And we also saw Can't Tell Us Nothing. And I don't know quite what what is their history. They've done some good stuff.
Well, they've been around for a long time. They've been doing fantastic stuff. Great improvisers in Houston. But this group in particular recently had some brush with fame as they entered the Improv for Humans, which is Matt Besser's improv podcast. They entered the national competition to be on it, and they won. And they went to the Del Close Marathon, which is a big deal for improvisers, and they performed with some heavy hitters, Jason Mantzoukas and Matt Besser, and it was really cool.
That's awesome.
And seeing him Saturday night was that's why they won, because they're flawless. They're good.
After them, we got to see a Never Have I Ever improv game where the top-notch improvisers of Station Theater's alumni or their roster, they all played Never Have I Ever, got very drunk, and then did improv off of it.
Yeah, it was super fun.
It was really fun.
It was a good hang sesh.
Yeah, you could tell that they were just the audience was very much along for the ride by 11:30.
I love how they had the keg on the stage, so if you wanted to get a drink, you just have to walk up while they're talking. It was very interactive. It made it feel like we were all hanging out.
Yeah. And then last night,
Saturday.
That was Saturday.
Not last night. Oh yeah, that was Saturday. Yeah.
But last night we what did we do? What did we do last night?
What did we do yesterday? We watched Venture Brothers at some point. Right. We worked on the zine a lot this weekend.
True.
That was the big thing.
The zine. That's right. We haven't really talked about the zine yet. Let's hold off a little bit. We'll get to that. But anyway, we got drunk that night too.
I went to Barbarella for their 5-year anniversary. I'm still tired.
Yeah, we have enjoyed the 3-day weekend. It's really great to just be in this new neighborhood, working on zines, surrounded by great neighbors. Speaking of zines and great neighbors, boy, I'm really phoning it in this week. Please give it up for our guest today, the zine queen herself, our neighbor, Maria Elisa Haig. Hey, Maria. What's up? How's it going?
Oh, great.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it.
Man, oh man.
What a good segue, you guys.
Look, normally I've got
we called you a great neighbor.
My honor and my privilege to be segued by that.
I usually have a bit more pep in my step, but today I'm just...
It's all Pepto-Bismol today.
Pepto in my Bismol. How was your weekend, Maria? Did you rage?
I didn't rage as hard as y'all. I had some pretty chill.
One can.
I was DD on Friday. And
is that DDRing or just DDing?
It was designated driver revolution.
I was Dexter's sister. I played DDR and I was the designated driver. So the triple whammy. And then on Saturday, I did have the opportunity to get a little more drunk, but no, didn't really end up raging all that hard. I kind of am considering a Sunday cruise, evening sort of chill beers time later, but I'll just have to see how I feel.
Monday.
Wait,
It's the Sunday
we
vibe.
didn't have words today.
It's the Sunday vibe. Okay. What? Oh my God! It's Wednesday. Jeez, this weekend went too far.
Oh no.
No.
How long have we been here?
Still streaming after all these beers.
Well, thanks a lot for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having me.
You said that you didn't really rage this weekend. Let's just jump into what this show's about.
Yeah.
Parties. Tell us about some cool times you have raged.
Oh, cool times I've raged.
Parties of rages past. Yeah.
Well, actually, just off the top of my head, I'd have a really good rage story when I was in high school. I was probably 16, so I was living in the UK, which means I was technically legally allowed to drink a little bit.
Wait, what do you mean by a little bit? There's like a legal limit? To how
Yeah,
much you
so
could-
at least when I was there, I think it was just like if you were 16, you could have like a drink at the pub or two with
you
a
can
parent.
chug 2 lugs.
You can knock back 2 pints and then you can stagger out to the next pub. Not that I know, but I do know because this happened to me. So we were out for New Year's and it was me and 2 friends and we were all Americans. We were living in London and we got we had a lot of fun down by Big Ben and managed to find the only other Americans like in this crowd of people.
That's how we do it.
And they were werewolves, right? American werewolves?
Not
in
even.
London?
Honestly, it would have been great. They were just like Air Force dudes who were like too old, and honestly, they were just too old to be interested in like one of the people that was in the group. And we were like, oh God, here we go. And so it just kind of ended up on this like journey of us being like, well, we have to go along because if we don't go along, who knows what this like older ass sorry radio
You can say ass.
this older ass Air Force dude is gonna like do with this like a friend of ours who's like having a great time on her own, so really needs the supervision. And so we like follow them like all around the park and then to this like horrible, just truly horrible club that was like it seemed like it was in a basement.
Is that a discotheque?
It was just a straight up club.
Okay.
It was it was like a heavy industrial nasty club that seemed like they tore out all the walls and had all of the exposed beams and they were like, this is our aesthetic. The cover is 60 quid. And we were like, well, we're like in high school. We can't afford this. So we're going to go, right? And the guys were like, no, we got this. And so they paid our way in. And I basically drank 1 cider for the next 3 hours and tried to get this other guy to leave me alone by telling him a really, really dramatic, made-up story about how horrible my life was and how I was like grieving.
Would you like to share any of that story right now?
Yeah, I was like, I'm having a really hard time right now because like what was it? It was like my uncle was a drug addict and he recently OD'd and he's dead and I
That's
feel
hot. So are you.
And I was like, no, I can't.
So what's your major?
Yeah, it was, and then we ended up having to walk back like 2 miles in the rain to our friend's house, and I was like, well, this is, I guess, what it means to be in a world where you can party. It was fun in retrospect, but at the time I was very annoyed.
Yeah, no.
I feel like some of the best party stories are like pretty abysmal when you're living them.
Yes. I was like, how is this actually what's happening right now?
So let's get back to the USA here. I know you've partied.
Finally.
Yeah. No.
Sorry.
Well, here's the thing. Maria went to like a gigantic party school, Rice, not known for anything other than that. But
So true.
I heard what was it like beer bike and
Beer bike.
Beer bike.
Is it Night of Discord? Or?
That would be more rice, actually. That would be a better word for a rice.
Wait, is Discord that chat room?
Yeah, it's where every
Night
Rice,
of LAN party.
every Rice student gets on Discord.
It's one of the WoW guilds, but they like wreck shop against U of H guilds. No, it's Night of Decadence.
Oh god.
And in the roaring 80s, it was on like
Which
Playboy's
chapter of Return of the
top,
King
like
is this?
10 college parties. What?
Is it which chapter of Return to the Kings is this?
Oh, we don't have Greek life at no chapters.
Whoa.
Oh no, I meant chapter of Return to the Kings, Lord of the Rings.
No, I know.
All right, so the Night of Decadence. And what is the Night of Decadence?
So, Night of Decadence is a loosely themed party where they just say a word. It's like a single word theme. And then the point of the party is to get as scantily clad as possible. And hookups are encouraged, which is weird because I think I was I was at school a long time ago now. And so I think they were still trying to skirt, like, is tawdry fun in a collegiate environment all right while we encourage the breaking of boundaries? They hadn't really started talking about consent or anything like that. So it was just a bit funny. People were kind of like trying, but also because Rice is not a school full of people for whom this is like an exactly exciting event. So a lot of people end up being like, oh, I guess I'll go. So you had a lot of people kind of like dancing like with their arms kind of over the parts that weren't covered by like their bikinis, and like these dudes like, oh, that was bad.
You said the parent chaperones were really like just pulling clothes off people.
They were like pushing them out.
Yeah, get in there, go dance.
But they were still dressed like Lydia's in Handmaid's Tale.
Oh,
And Lydia's. They're just like tearing off clothing and pushing them out there.
I think the only experience I've had with that is actually the 8th grade dance, where the floor was clearly split of boys and girls, and then only couples were dancing, leaving room, and it was just so awkward. just the scene, let me set it. This guy's like, you're really cute, Melissa. She's like,
thanks.
I'm taking out my retainer.
I'm gonna dip it in the punch.
God, no, that's okay. I don't want any punch.
I call it a gum soak.
Oh, cool. They've got cheese sticks. Every dance I've gone to, homecoming, prom, and 8th grade dance, there's always been cheese sticks, and that's where to find me.
Okay, you need to do 8th grade dance ASMR of you like eating the cheese sticks. The punch you.
Oh.
God.
Hang on, I need blue cheese.
They're playing that Avril Lavigne song.
Yeah, that's right. I use blue cheese for my mozzarella sticks dipping.
Whoa, Josh Higgins watching from Tokyo or Kyoto.
Oh, what time is it? Is Konnichiwa a time constrained greeting?
Josh,
Konnichiwa.
make us big in Japan.
Yeah.
We need to get a sponsorship from Tanoshi Wafaru, and so we can have all those. That's how it's pronounced, and that's how we, those waffles that you make. In like
I'm sorry, those what? That you
Oh, you're talking about the little
the what?
waffles.
Oh, is that because it just seems like you said it differently?
I said Tanoshi Wafaru because that's what they have, and it's like a Lunchable kit, and you make waffles.
Yeah, no, I've had those before. Or I had one that made little donuts. It was pretty good.
Are they already? Was it like a baked thing?
It's like little water and powder, and you mix it together, and it makes like a jelly bread. It's not that good.
You're wrong. They're great.
No, you should have the donut ones. They're not good.
You like some pretty horrendous snacks, though, Connor.
Whoa! At me next time.
I'm in front of you. The ultimate adding is face-to-face insults.
What snacks do I like? Or what did you call them? Horrendous?
I don't.
There were circus peanuts on our table when I came
That's
home.
about the fact that I made nachos out of Ritz crackers and shredded cheese in a microwave. Is that what this is?
It's more like a tapestry of which each thread is
Yeah.
an individual
It's
instance.
merely parts of a larger structure.
When you zoom back, you see the picture, but you can't really dive in too deeply because it's just a bunch of cheese lattices.
I will admit I have a tendency to eat garbage food. I eat a lot of like Slim Jim sticks. I'm a big fan of the cheese in the can.
The Leaning Tower of Cheese.
Little known fact, before we moved into the house we're in now, Connor really wanted us to build a house out of Slim Jim's like Lincoln logs.
Yeah, we could eat it.
I was too afraid of him eating it. Yeah,
Links are logs.
Links are logs.
But I think the worst thing I've done with snacks is I used to pour Fruity Pebbles into a glass and just like drink it with no milk. I'd walk around with a cup and just
What's with the pretense of the glass?
Easier than a bag.
More mobile. Pours better.
It's not at all about trying to upkeep like the
Yeah, I didn't want to put my hand in the bag. That's gross.
You should just fill one of those Camelbacks with only cereal. Just like suck on it.
through a giant
Well, what
straw.
snack are you all about if my snacks are so gross, Miss Snackums?
Wow.
I've had.
I don't know how to come
Yeah,
back. I can't come
wisecracking,
back
bad
from that.
snacking.
Look, I'm the lids, all right? That's what it is.
No, I'll be honest. All the snacks that I like, people are just like, God, really? you can go to hell.
I have heard you talk about Turkish delights once.
Okay, those are delicious. Those are a real snack.
Mr. Tumnus looking.
Okay, first of all, he didn't have any of the Turkish delight. It was Edmund. Mr. Tumnus didn't touch. Why would they give a filthy half-human a Turkish delight? I'm just assuming this because C.S. Lewis was, a colonialist. But the witch gave Edmund, weak weak-willed
Wait, which one?
Edmund.
No, which witch?
The white witch. The white witch.
Janus.
Which witch is the white witch at which witch?
Yes.
The sandwich with white bread?
Yes. Yes. What?
Josh
Josh
got out of the show.
Yeah, he had to leave.
Well,
but it's 10 a.m. over there, so we're like totally a breakfast shock jock right now for him.
I don't know how to say goodbye in Japanese, so.
Sayonara.
Oh my gosh, how did I forget that? Anyway, Turkish delight is delicious, but mostly I'm like, I really like pretzels and hummus.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
I mean, I was like, I need to buy myself some snacks because I'm going to be studying now that I'm back in school. So I went to the store and I was like, those veggie chips and graham crackers and like.
We got some seaweed at the house.
I love those.
Seaweed's real good.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, you've moved on. You come into a new phase with snacks.
No, I've just added to my snack repertoire.
Yeah. We usually wrap it around a hot dog.
Yeah, I'm not.
They're flaming hot Cheeto dusted
Look.
seaweed.
Look, you can have lettuce wraps or you can have seaweed wraps, and you just wrap all your food in it. No, when I'm at home, it's not this kind of like when I was a child, I played with childish snacks. No,
Now that I'm an
I'm just
adult.
like, yeah, hey, you know what I like now? Seaweed snacks. So I'll just have one of those to cleanse my palate after I clear off a uncured pepperoni stick with Swedish cheese on it.
Oh God, the worst.
After I burn through some cold wings.
Actually, are we going to the grocery store after this? I got a hanker for some snack.
We should go. Hey, what should we get at the grocery store, Maria? What kind of snacks should we get?
Well, I would say right now, if I were the one buying all the snacks, I would probably get some
You
salt
are.
and vinegar. Oh, great!
Yeah, you'll
Salt
be
and
paying
vinegar
for these.
chips. Like a big thing of sparkling water. I like to snack on things like cherry tomatoes and grapes.
Ooh.
I actually, because it's so hot, I'm into some celery right now. Just eating straight up celery.
Hey, I'm a baby carrot fanatic.
I like
or
a baby
celery.
carrot, but you know what? A baby carrot is a lie because they lathe an entire
no, I know they're adults.
carrot. Yeah, they're adults that they maim. they brutalize these adult carrots and they lathe them down to baby. Well, I do like the taste though.
It's these like scary mommy carrots who are like, I'll make you my baby again.
Tiger mom carrots.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
What's your favorite vegetable?
Yeah,
Me?
Connor.
You stupid veggie.
I hate vegetables.
You don't even like a vegetable.
They're gross.
Name one vegetable that you
Seaweed.
might. That's not. Well, what is that?
That's a veggie.
yeah. No.
I think seaweed's
I
more of a
like-
concept
I
than a
like
vegetable.
I like broccoli and cheese. Does that count?
Well, only
Cheese isn't a
halfway.
vegetable, so that's 50-50.
I like kale chips. And
But not kale.
No, it tastes like I'm chewing hair. I'm not the biggest kale fan.
It's like chewing on a troll doll.
Well, I mean, so since I've become an adult and had to make sure that I could lose weight and stay healthy, I would just buy a tub of spinach and I'd put some of it in a Ziploc bag and bring a water bottle and I'd just like put as much spinach in my mouth as I could and get some
Just
water.
pour
in there.
buffalo sauce down.
No buffalo sauce, no ranch or anything.
Wait, what? Why? Why is that
because
what you
I needed to eat it and I hated it.
But that's not okay. Wow, that like is so sad, man. I feel bad for you. I know. I feel for you, like thinking like you gotta be healthy, so I'm gonna take like a fistful of spinach, like a vitamin. Yeah, I would hate that too. That
You
sounds
gotta grind
terrible.
it down and put it in your morning cup of
I
fruity
used
pebbles.
to be all about that.
Okay, no, but real talk, you could incorporate it into so people
Smoothie?
on Fitstagram are all about.
Fitstagram.
I like
Are
junk
we on
food.
Instagram?
Did you say fistagram? Hey, follow these fists.
I'm sorry, Ned. This is a public radio station.
All right, so Instagram, they do what now?
So everybody who's on like quote unquote Fitstagram are into like, I just love fast food. I want to eat chips and pizza and chocolate. And here's how you guys can also eat total crap but actually eat healthy. So they'll do things like, I make a smoothie that's fruity pebble caramel marshmallow, but it has like a
Get the hell out of here.
they do this like this weird magic, so they feel like they're eating crappily and they're eating like the right number of macros, and they'll put some spinach in there, and I obviously can't taste it, but it looks like you can't tell the spinach is in there. I personally like it, but
I do spinach and smoothies a lot.
That's a good snack.
Pretty great.
We should start making smoothies.
All right, buddy.
You guys have a top
Smoothies.
smooth?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Big time.
like kind of a tropical thing with pineapples, bananas.
Ooh. Anything with pineapple and orange, I'm like gaga over.
There's a mandarin orange in there.
Yeah.
Don't worry about that.
Ooh.
And then to top it off, I do like some honey, and maybe cinnamon if I feel like it, and then
Ooh.
that spinach.
Do y'all do some yogurt with that, or you do
Oh
dairy
yeah,
free?
I always throw yogurt.
I've never done
base
yogurt
there.
in a smoothie.
It's good.
Yeah.
So I've been burned by the citrus in the yogurt mixture. I feel like I got one. I made one with pineapple several months ago, and I haven't
Do you
made
still
one
have
since. No, it curdled right away. Otherwise, I would have kept it. But yeah, so since then I've been a little gun shy for citrus
Yeah.
and yogurt. But I use like Greek yogurt. I don't know if that's a different acidity level.
I think so. I don't know.
Who knows?
Have you ever tried putting a gun in a smoothie?
Not yet, but every day
Yeah.
I'll get a little closer.
So we're talking about
Optimize.
golly. We're talking about snacks here. You're clearly like a healthy-minded person. We talk about wings sometimes. Are there wings that you eat, or are you
Yes,
just like,
there are definitely wings that I eat.
Oh yeah.
where from?
Okay, well, he doesn't live here anymore, but our friend Jaime would destroy on some wings. And I think Chris, my husband, is really taking on that torch. When he does do wings, he'll be like, the night before, he'll be like, I need to go to the store and get like 4 different kinds of salsa and like a bunch of citrus and like peppercorn and beer and, you know, like...
Well, we need to have a wing cookout.
Oh yeah, you should really. I mean, if you take care of like getting the grill set up and stuff, because I think he doesn't necessarily like that as much as he likes like watching over it and doing his thing. But he makes some really good wings. And then our friend Ike made some wings that were like Korean marinated, so it's like this spicy Korean marinade and what.
We had a Christmas where we made wings as roommates, so
That's
everyone made a
amazing.
different sauce. So we had wasabi wings
Oh my
and like
God.
5 spice wings.
What was your wing sauce?
Mine was the wasabi.
Ketchup?
No,
Oh.
yeah. Mine was
I
hot
know
milk.
you're
Yeah.
like, I got mustard.
I think I would probably do something with like mango and cilantro, maybe basil. I've never
Ooh,
made
give me
my
a
own
basil
marinade.
wing. I really want a basil wing.
I would maybe
Now.
I would definitely be the kind of person who would be like, maybe I'll do like some gin in there, like see if I can really like push the boundaries of marinade and then like ruin it completely because I overshoot. But I would try.
Oh boy. All right, so we're talking about these great wings. Fun fact, the 3 of us are going out of town this weekend. You know what that
Yeah.
means? We're going to be eating lots of food on the road.
Ew.
Also, Ned and I, we're going to go to P. Terry's for like
We're going to
every
go to
meal.
P. Terry's a lot.
I haven't been there in a few years actually.
It's great.
Yeah.
But what are we going up there for, guys? I don't know what's up.
Everybody on 3. 1, 2, 3. Staple.
Having a good time.
Oh
At
yeah.
Staple
That's right, everyone. We're going back to Austin, Texas for the Staple Expo, which is the largest independent publishing expo here in the state of Texas. It is run by Uncle Staple, a.k.a. Chris Nicholas. It's very,
Yeah.
very awesome, very, very fun, and a very inclusive environment, and we are all going to be tabling. However, first year, and we're not tabling next to each
I
other.
know.
You, Jade, and Jason will all be very close to each other. You're within, like, that back aisle.
Are we in eye range?
Yeah, but, you're very close to each other. Like, you
Okay.
just turn around, they're behind you.
Oh great.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that is
You guys can
nice.
pass notes.
Ned and I are very far from it.
How far are you?
We are,
We're outside.
completely down the aisle. All the way at the other end.
Oh no.
Yeah, but I think we're pretty close to the snacks.
That might be good for you guys though, because we plan on being very annoying.
We gotta
We're
make
really
sure
trying
we-
to sell our stuff.
What do you have planned?
Well, you can see that Connor's currently wearing our deal closer hats. These are the hats that we did wear to sign our lease, and we will continue to close deals. I don't know. We're just gonna be barking.
Yeah, we're just gonna be like snake oil salesmen.
We might make some charts to like hold up to show people like this is the increased happiness since people have bought our zines.
Oh, you need to get one of those easels that are absolutely the most flimsy and like will at the breath of a human fall over.
Constantly, yeah.
So you need to do your presentation with your pie chart and someone just like, not, oh, I'm so sorry.
Jeez, Ned, you screwed it up again. You had this sale right in the grasp of your hands.
That'll be great.
The tie perpetually in the coffee mug.
Yeah. My nose is bleeding a 7th time today.
So what are you bringing to Staple? What are you going to be tabling?
Well, every year I feel like I tell myself, this is my big year. I'm going to be heckin' productive this year and have a batch of new stuff. As it is, I'll probably have some new stickers. I'm planning on printing/reprinting some stuff that I've made at various times throughout the years, but haven't really made any editions of. And then hopefully a new print. And then, stuff I've already got, like silk screens and pins and totes and stuff like that. My biggest goal really is to sort of streamline my expectations and my setup. Because I think now it's like Staple is such. Oh, I'm also presenting at Staple actually.
Oh, what are you
That's
doing?
right. I'm doing a talk on zines, the history of zines, what they're about, how to make them, and how to get involved. So I'll probably do just like a rundown of like regional zine fests to get involved with, because there are a few now around in addition to Zine Fest Houston, which is the longest running and arguably the best.
Yeah, can we talk about Zine Fest Houston real quick?
No.
Sure. Moratorium.
Absolutely not.
It's still Labor Day.
Yeah, let's talk about Zine Fest.
Yeah, tell us about it.
We called you the Zine Queen earlier. You're one of the 4 people who organized Zine Fest Houston.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
That's where Connor and I were reunited after 7 years.
Oh, yeah. That was a good time. Good time.
Proud to be a facilitator of those types of connections.
Yeah, so tell the people, for those who don't know, what is Zine Fest?
Well, Zine Fest Houston is an annual festival that focuses on DIY, self-publishing specifically. Zine, for anybody who doesn't know, is short for magazine, so it represents any self-published material in really any medium: photography, writing, illustration, painting. I mean, it runs the gamut. But the zine ethos is really defined by having creator control and having distribution control. So in a way, what Zine Fest Houston does is provide sort of an alternative economic opportunity for people outside of a mainstream that doesn't necessarily always want to represent the voices that are making that kind of work. So that's what it is in a nutshell. The festival is on November 17th at the Lawndale Art Center from 12 to 6. And I've been working as an organizer with the festival since I started volunteering in 2012, and I got involved as an organizer in 2013. And I'll just do a quick shout out to the teammates, Anastasia Courages, Sarah Welch, and Evan McCarley. Whoop, whoop.
Know all 3 of them. They're great. Those are badass people here in Houston.
They really are. So yeah, basically at this point, we've got registration open until the 17th. So it's just get your application in. We've had a pretty awesome response this year. Our theme is wrestling, so I think that's really added a lot to what we've got going on. But we also have a grant that we're rolling out this year in honor of our late founder, Shane Patrick Boyle, who died in Arkansas because he didn't have adequate resources to help him deal with his type 1 diabetes that he struggled with his whole life. So in honor of him, because what he did was always sort of put himself in a position to give other people the opportunity to grow and thrive, we're starting the Shane Patrick Boyle Memorial Grant for Emerging Zinesters. And we'll be awarding $200 and hopefully some more ancillary benefits as we get them secured. This is the first time we've done it, but we'll give you $200 towards your first zine. We're offering this to emerging LGBTQ plus zinesters, and we're highly encouraging POC zinesters to apply. So we're hopefully going to be able to carry that into the future. But yeah, that's kind of what's going on with that right now.
Right on.
You had many applicants? I've been very curious as to see what this new generation of zinesters is in the city of Houston. We all kind of, well, I don't want to say we all came up together, but we
kind of did.
Yeah.
A little bit.
We all started like really working on stuff together, including the Art Pals. So it's just interesting to see who are the new people now.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's it's definitely been an exciting thing to see people coming in from the suburbs, particularly, excuse me, who are definitely not in the regular realm of things that go on, in the arts in the inner loop. So it's cool to see that, because a lot of them get to know about us through social media, and a lot of them are doing, there's like a mix of like these young illustrators and artists who are sort of in the fan art thing, but they're also like defining their own style, and they're very prolific, and they're very earnest, and they're very heartfelt, and they're very much advocates for like their identity and who they are and who they want to be, and advocates for whoever anybody else wants to be. I see a lot of that in some of the work from the younger folks that I see, and I really like that. I think that also, we've had some people come through Zine Fest who have sort of gone on to like do, bigger things, or Zine Fest Houston was, a stop along the road. Well, B and Neil, they are a painter and a fashion designer, and they, recently relocated to LA, but they were doing, shows and installations and stuff. And then they came through Zine Fest Houston with a zine, a publication they had made of their fashion designs. And it was really cool to see that like transition. They were experimenting, like trying it out. And, it was cool to see that Zine Fest Houston was seen as a viable, artistic outlet for people to put the time and investment into participating in.
Is it really just only for zines? Can you, like, what qualifies you to table at Zine Fest?
Well, at this point, we do have a requirement of like at least 50 or 75%. Ooh, I'm a bad organizer. I can't remember the exact percentage. The majority of your material must be zines specifically. So that is, it can be malleable. There are a lot of things that don't seem like your traditional booklet zine that do count. But we're just talking about, you can't have only glossy mags, that are high production value. Yeah. You can't only have fan art prints. You can't only have, not to disparage any other type of, tabling event, but Zine Fest Houston is specifically for a DIY,
it's
creator controlled.
Yeah.
So we don't want to compete with artist alleys, as it were, at Comic Cons.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
We've been working on our own zine.
Yeah.
That we're bringing to Staple. That's where we're going to be.
We're working on the Effin Pager right now.
Which also I suggested should be a side business for you guys. Effin Pagers and beepers.
Oh, don't worry. We have the phone number.
We also have the Effin Pager phone number, which is 901 High Rager.
No, it's 910 High Rager.
Hi Rager.
Hi Rager.
Leave us a voicemail on that anytime you want. We're working on that. We're hard at work on it. It's very exciting.
Are we hard at work?
I think so.
No, we got a lot of writing done this weekend, but I think that also contributed to us partying so much, because we were like talking about partying, and it was like my bow tie started spinning. It was like, well, partying, don't mind if I do.
Next thing I knew, the lampshade was on my head, and I was on top of the mid-century coffee table.
I never thought it could happen to me.
Partying, it could happen to you.
Me?
Yes, you.
No, it's been a lot of fun. We're cracking each other up, just trying to get this thing written. I'm really excited to show it off to the world. Ned is kicking ass and taking names at laying it all out.
Attaboy, Ned.
Yeah, and I just sit on his bed and I yell at him and I eat his snacks.
Dee Dee Mao.
Yeah. Faster! Make more zines!
This seems like a real equitable creative relationship.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Nothing bad could come of this. Yeah.
Nah, surely not.
The thing that I'm most excited about printing this zine is we're going to print it Friday before we head up to Staples.
Sure.
So that Friday night, that's what these tabling events are all about.
Are you doing this again?
Baby.
Assembly Fest?
That's what's most fun to us.
Is it?
I love it.
I really like it because we get to talk about it. You really get to look at the zines.
Yeah, that's a good way to edit.
Yeah,
not edit, but just like review.
Yeah, there's no time to edit. It's the day before.
And it's also just a really fun way to just hang out, chill out, maybe throw something on the TV, and it's our work.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
You get to bask in it.
Maybe I'll just print up and like pre-laminate a bunch of stickers that I'll just cut.
Yeah, I'm going to bring the guillotine and the saddle staple and everything so we can just like go.
Nice.
Yeah.
I've got a long arm. You've got my long arm.
And my long arm.
And my side staple. No, it's going to be a...
That was the chapter of Return of the King.
Call book.
That's going to be such a friggin' blast. I love going on road gigs like that. Have you ever gone on like besides Staple, have you gone on like a road gig, so to speak?
I did get a chance to go to the Portland Zine Symposium with Anastasia. I said Stacy earlier, but I should refer to her by her full name.
Her true name.
Her true name.
It shows everyone that you have a power over her.
No, she has the power over me to make me call her by her true name. Yeah, we went up to the Portland Zine Symposium and slang zines there, and it was really cool. It was because, as well from like an artist's perspective, you get to like meet a new audience, but from an organizer perspective, it was like, wow, you really can, do things in such different ways, and it was really great to get a lot of ideas from them and all of that. I think it was interesting. They had a Zine Fest organizers like round table, and everyone was like together, and we're like, great, all the Zine Fest organizers are together, like we're gonna make this work, we're gonna figure out all our problems. And they're like, what do we need? And we're like, volunteers. And I was like, okay, well,
Yeah.
that's true, we need that too.
Cuts to 4 minutes later, you guys are all just spitting in each other's mouths.
Someone's slapping their belly.
Less staples.
Is there anybody that you're particularly excited to see at Staple or at the upcoming Zine Fest?
Well, I don't know who's going to be at the upcoming Zine Fest because we haven't closed registration, and I couldn't possibly comment on any of the applications we've received.
Now, could you say if people were to maybe email you saying like Effin Rager needs to table, like would that help our chances?
Those
of being
would be
able to
screened very closely.
Okay, yeah.
In light of recent comments.
And what's that email? Just for no one in particularly.
info@zinefesthhouston.org/notned.
And then make your subject Effin Rager's my homies.
Well, it's less of like, hey, who's getting accepted, but have y'all put any programming decisions out there yet, or is there anyone that's going to have a panel, or is this all stuff that you're working on?
We're still sort of getting all of those things hammered out. We have those things in the wings and organized, but just in the interest of making sure that everything is, as the people want it to be and presenting. But we have, some teen and youth workshops coming up. We have some pretty good ideas of what's going to go down, but again, there's still little, confirmation things in the wings. So
Okay.
it'll
Things
be
in the
cool.
wings.
There will be food trucks that I can at least confirm.
Where's it going to be?
It will be at the Lawndale Art Center.
Awesome. That's a great place to have it.
Yeah.
I do miss the printing museum,
I know.
but the Lawndale Art Center is a very
Cool
choice
space,
place.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just more spacious, and now that we've grown, it was a choice that we had to make. But we love the printing museum, so that will never cease to happen. The love, anyway, or the fest, just
So
at a different spot.
Is that one of the only things that you're organizing, or is that like, do you have other things that you are active in trying to get together?
At the moment, not so much. I was sort of provisionally active as a member of my local chapter of the Houston Democratic Socialists of America, but I've been in school and balancing work, school, and because the festival does end up being more or less a year-round sort of consistent, like, being aware and at meetings and stuff. I'm definitely somebody for whom like I have a limited number of, spoons or whatever. So if I'm doing this number of things, almost anything else that I try, I'll sort of do haphazardly or pick up and not be able to finish satisfactorily. So I've actually decided to make it very clear to myself, like, you can do a limited number of things very well, so don't overstretch yourself. But I like to say I'm affiliated with other things, so.
Yeah.
What are you studying?
What's your major?
What are you reading?
Oh God, I'm in the U of H Masters of Arts Leadership program. So this is the start of my third semester.
Can we don't have to talk about this, but you have mentioned that there are undergrads in your class.
Oh my God, I'm in a class that has some undergrads in it.
What is it?
It's actually a really great class. It's a it's a socially engaged art course that's taught by Rick Lowe, which is actually incredible, and I'm really honored to be in the class.
Ned doesn't know who Rick Lowe is because he's stupid. Could you tell him?
What's up?
I don't think it's really a very communitarian way to approach his ignorance by calling him stupid.
Brother?
Hey, quit being stupid. No.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dip's brother. Dip Lowe.
No. You're thinking of his cousin Swing. Rick Lowe is an artist who was the founder of Project Row Houses in Houston. So he's this artist who, as the teaching goes, he sort of created or pioneered this field of socially engaged art, where the sort of art project was the creation of Project Row Houses, but it has this sort of bigger aspect to it. As you can tell by going there, it's not just, the single mother's support. It's not just like they are, it's, this whole thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm in this class and I'm really, really excited because I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe I have the opportunity to take a class from Rick Lowe. And I think some of the undergrads do know who he is as well. I'm not assuming they're all ignorant, but they're hyper. Undergrads are so hyper.
They're ready to rage.
They are just constantly interrupting and having these wacky tangents. They just they just exhaust me. This one girl in my class, I was like, this is so cool, you're doing this thing, but she was hyping her thing, beginning a class, she led everybody make sure you come to my thing, and I was like, that's cool, but it was not just that, it was everyone then was oh my God, what? And it was just I really want class to start, and I could tell maybe I don't know, I was just I feel old to be with these hyper undergrads.
Just give them some Ritalin or something.
Toss them a fidget spinner.
I don't think they're
stupid kids.
Animals.
Isn't it awesome being older now and we can look down on stupid kids?
Oh my gosh, I really don't. I try not to because I'm just no, it's cool. They all have really good perspectives too. But I was y'all are going a mile a minute. You gotta focus. They just ping pong everywhere, and it's I don't know how to describe it because I forgot about it until I saw it again. It's you're in class and you're talking about something, and then you're responding to something that the teacher asks you or some part of the material, but instead of finishing that, you're oh my God, by the way, oh my God, have you ever seen this show? Oh my God, and everyone's oh my God, yes, I have seen that show, and then everyone's talking about the show, and then the teacher's
what show?
Okay, I can't
What show is it?
remember.
Is it Riverdale?
No, it was somebody who asked about some show that a basketball player is in. I don't know anything
Riverdale.
about it. Yes, it's Riverdale.
You think of River Dunk?
Oh my gosh. Anyway, yeah, I'm an old and grumpy person.
Have you been invited to any sweet undergrad parties?
So this one
Yes.
young woman is in I guess a sorority, and they were doing a dance event, and I couldn't go because I was in class, but I was just what? Because actually, as I alluded to earlier, there was no Greek life at Rice, so I have no understanding of sororities or fraternities in any context as an undergraduate. And so they were she started talking about it, and I was oh, that's weird, you're in a a sorority and you don't look like a whatever my stereotype of person in a sorority was.
You could say it. No,
I won't. I could, but I won't.
Maria's 1 week away from rushing.
Listen, I got
she just looked like someone like me.
I got a lot of irons and a lot of fires. But so she was talking about it, and then this other girl pipes up oh yeah, da 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 da, and I was oh my God, what? And then somebody else pipes up, and I was whoa, and everybody it was 4 people out of a class of 12, but that still seems to me a large proportion. We're involved with Greek life, and we're talking about Greek life drama and Greek
were they all
history.
continuing the same poem of Greek life? They're one ring to someone else stands up and they're of course bind him.
That's geek life, dude.
Just imagine oh, you mean a Greek chorus life?
Oh, to Grecian urn.
Oh, fate! Who cannot make my dance party? Good.
DJ Homer spinning the classics. DJ ODC.
He's a blind DJ. It's incredible.
Blind DJ. DJ ODC.
Golly.
Anyway, I was very out of my depth. I was just I was very conflicted because I was okay, I'm being a real curmudgeon right now. But I also have problems with the institutions of Greek life in a collegiate environment. I was but I'm at a state school, not a private school. And I was I'm being old. And I was I don't care about your Greek life.
So
I want to start class.
They seem really cool.
So I was really just chawing on my Metamucil, feeling grumpy during a lot of
on my Metamucil.
I was
It's this dance invitation has got me so worked up I'm constipated. Yeah, you're really old.
I was like, the fact that I'm having this feeling means that I'm too old to be involved.
I should not be dancing.
I shouldn't be anywhere near this stuff.
I got the invite, and I thought upon it over a nice cold glass of Ovaltine.
As I bathe my feet in Epsom salts.
Soaking my dogs.
in between commercials of Meet the Press. Kind of what I was going to do. Old people stuff, you know. All right, so is that it? Did you go to the party?
I didn't. I had class. No. It wasn't class. I think I had work. I think I was straight up at work.
Wait, what?
It was like during the day. They do stuff during the day, and I was just like,
I miss college.
I know. That was actually the thing too. They were like, make sure you come to our big like rally. It's in like 12, and I was like, I'm at my job.
Is this your Frontier Fiesta?
What is that?
Wait, how long have you been going to U of H?
A year.
And you haven't encountered Frontier Fiesta?
I go to like 2 buildings in the evening.
Frontier Fiesta is basically the Greek life party on campus. It's
maybe they did talk about it.
They always get like mediocre musician.
A whole week? Is that Rush Week?
No, Rush Week is in the fall. I'm guessing Frontier.
And Rush are not mediocre musicians.
Yeah. Check them out sometime.
Rush at Rush would be pretty dope.
Damn.
What?
Yeah.
What fraternity or sorority would want to be affiliated with
Rush?
math rock?
Gamma.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so it's just this gigantic fraternal sorority party that takes up an entire parking lot.
Only one? Which parking lot?
The biggin. The one near the stadium.
Oh, okay. I'm in the arts lot. As long as nothing compromises arts lot, I'm good. If something compromises arts lot, I lose my freaking mind.
Well, what's going to happen is they're going to shut down that parking lot.
And everyone's going to move to arts lot.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
I'm preemptively mad. my curmudgeonly anger has only deepened as a result of this knowledge.
It's gonna get worse. Every time I would go, I had to get dragged there because sometimes you could get free barbecue or booze. So I'm just hanging around, and I remember showing up, and this happened during Pledge Week as well, or Rush Week, whatever. I'm just like, man, I can't wait for someone to ask me to join their frat, so I could be like, hey, man, get bent.
Yes.
So, who asked you to be?
Nobody. I would like walk down the sidewalk multiple times, be like, maybe this time. Nope, turn around. All right, maybe you didn't notice me. No, I've had friends get offered cards while I was walking with them.
Wait, so they're just walking down the street and they get like discovered?
Well, they like all stand outside the library and they're like, hey, play Delta Pi, hey, play Delta Pi. And they hand out little cards. And I'd never.
Hey, little man, if you know anyone who might want to pledge Delta Phi.
Hey, man, we were thinking maybe you could come to the fraternity this weekend. We're really been looking for someone to beat on.
Yeah, that would be great.
Get bent, sir.
Are you kidding me? My dad's a legacy. He got beat on by Delta Phi.
I'd love to be affiliated.
All right. All this talk is fun and great.
We already at the hour? Dang.
But now, time for our latest segment. Can you hear the sound? I want a new bug. Tell us what's going on. Tell us all the stuff you were doing while we sing the song. All right. What do you got to plug?
All right, I will plug ZineFest Houston stuff for everybody who's interested. You can find us online at zinefesthouston.org. We are on Twitter as ZineFest Houston. We are on Instagram as ZineFest Houston. And would you know it, you can find us on Facebook at ZineFest Houston.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
What about your personal work? You want to share any of that? Or?
Sure. I am on Instagram. That's usually where I'm at, is ODon'tEven, O-H, don't even. And you can find me at odon'teven.com. Not that I've updated it in a while. But I am on Twitter at AntlerAntler. Just send me a request if you are interested in being a friend, and I'll have to review your account. Because I am currently private for reasons. But yeah, so that's me, and I hope to party and rage with y'all in Austin at Staple.
Yeah, it's gonna happen.
Your hopes
We got a pool, y'all. We got a pool.
We got a pool.
We got a pool. We got a pool. We got a pool. We got a pool.
All right.
Hey.
Do you have anything to plug?
No, I think we should just plug. We're going to be at Staple Convention. It's going to be in Austin. It's this weekend, and we have the Effin Pager coming out, which is super exciting.
Oh, wait. I've got one tiny little announcement.
Oh, we need to say this.
Hey, guys, we really appreciate that you guys are listening to the show either on Facebook Live or at kpft.org/listen. But if you don't have time to watch it live, or if you really don't like watching the video, if that's really distracting to you, you could probably catch it out and check out the podcast on iTunes.
Yeah.
That's right.
Hey.
Anywhere you can get podcasts, you can now find Effin Rager, but it's under Effin Rager.
Yeah, we are sticking with Effin Rager, which FM being a subsidiary of it. So just look up Effin Rager. That's EFFIN. That's Echo Foxtrot India Nitro
Neutral Milk Hotel.
November. Rager. I don't know the rest of it. Radio Alpha.
Whiskey Tango Foxtrot.
Oh my God.
No, they're subscribing to the wrong thing.
I ruined it.
All right, everybody. That's our show. Check us out. And hey, hopefully we'll see you up in Staple if you're in Austin. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for having me on, y'all.
Oh, of course. You were great.
Ah.
Just gonna come